Hello once again, biology students. Welcome to week 11 of Mr. Charlton's biology class. We have a twist in what is happening this week. I got a message from the district that we are to execute something called performance tasks. If you are 10th or 11th or 12th grader, I'm sure you're like, performance tasks, really? Yep, the district is asking us to give a performance task to all the biology students as well as other classes. So I don't know what's going to be happening with the other classes, but we're going to be doing the performance task this week. It is going to count for a grade. I do want to give you, the students, an opportunity to vote on how this is going to count for your grade. We basically have two options. It could either be I don't think we're going to have a final exam, so this could count like a final exam, so it could count as 10% of your grade as its own thing. Or what I could do is just make this another project with the class, and then I take that 10% from the final exam and I just distribute it amongst the other categories. So we're going to talk about this on the classes this week on Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday and Thursday we will do a vote to see how it goes. Now, how the vote's going to go is whatever I do to one of my biology class, I have to do it to all four of them. So let's just say period 1 says, oh, keep it like a final exam. And then period 4 says, no, let's keep it, let's just distribute those percentage points to the other categories. I'm going to just take a collection of votes for all four classes, and whichever one wins, that's how we'll distribute the grade. Okay, but again, I'll talk more about this on the Monday and Tuesday check-in. All right, let's jump into what you have to do for this performance task. It is the only assignment I'm giving you this week. So under week 11, it says performance task. We still have our meetings this week, just like normal. I will put this video right here for you as well. As you can see, there are 3 parts of this performance task that you need to get done. There is a chart from the second part. There is a written response, and then there's a diagram that you need to recreate and then add on with a whole bunch of new information that they are asking you to produce. So let me show you what's in the online notebook here. So it'll just be assignment number 1, performance task, semester 1. This right here, this PDF file is the whole performance task. So if you have the ability to print it out, and there's some articles you have to read that are in there. There's a chart in there that you're going to need to complete. You can print it out and write in it, and then just take pictures of the parts that you need to turn in for each of the assignments. If you want to be able to print it and read off of it and annotate it and take notes on it, that would be great too. But I don't expect everybody that has a printer at home, so I'm not expecting you to do that, but I'm offering that option to you. So if you have the ability to print, there's the PDF. You can print the whole thing. I took pictures of every page in this PDF, and that's what you're going to see down below. So it says, this is from their document. There are 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 is basically reading the information. Part 2 is, it had annotating, but again, you needed to print to annotate. So I changed it to just taking notes. I just think you should take some notes off of what you're reading. But really, the assignment you're going to turn in is a chart that I'll show you in a second. So you're going to fill out a chart, turn that in. That's one assignment. And then part 3 asks for a written answer and a diagram. And so I'll show you those things right now. So as you scroll down, so this is like the second page. It says part 1, gives you the phenomenon. Definitely read that. We'll be doing these together in class. I'll be pointing all this stuff out. It says read and annotate. Again, I'm not expecting you to annotate because you'd have to print in order to annotate. But you do need to fill out the chart. And so after it gives you the instructions, here's where it gives you the article. So there's one article titled Biosphere 2, What Really Happened. It's talking about people living in a isolated biosphere out in Arizona, and talks about their experiences and what they learned from it. So that's the first article to read. The second source to read, or source number 2, is just information similar to what you would find in a textbook. It talks about the carbon cycle. So hopefully that's familiar to a lot of you, because that's what we talked about and took notes on last week. The biosphere, the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the geosphere, those should be familiar terms to you. Gives you a diagram that hopefully is not too crazy and you haven't seen before. Some information next to that. Then it talks about photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Now, we haven't gone into detail on photosynthesis and cellular respiration. That was coming up in the next couple of weeks. But it does give you enough information in this paragraph to be able to answer any questions about it. Because they're not expecting you to know all the steps of those processes, just basically what they do. And we've talked about how photosynthesis is part of the carbon cycle and cellular respiration is part of the carbon cycle. So this shouldn't be like totally new information to you. All right, after those two articles or two sources, there is this chart. For one of your assignments, I need you to recreate this chart. Obviously, the first one is answered for you as an example of the level that they're looking for, okay? And then there are 5 more sections, and then you answer them evidence from the source. So what is it that you're finding in the source? I want either quotes, or you refer to a certain paragraph, or you refer to a certain sentence. There should be evidence in here telling you what it was. And then why is this important, or what's its significance? That's what goes in the box next to it. So it says like, what went wrong in the biosphere 2? I want you to go back to the article and either quote something or talk about what's found in a certain paragraph and write it in here. And then tell me that stuff that you just wrote down, why is it important? Why is it significant? And then you'll do that for the next 4 questions. So complete this chart. You can do it on a piece of paper. You can do it on the computer. If you want to print it out and you want to just do it right in the chart too, that is fine. You'll take a picture of this, turn it into Jupyter. That is one of the assignments. It's just doing this chart. Okay. Then we go into part 3. Part 3 gives you a little bit of a scenario. Basically, they're making a biosphere number 3. So now you have to know what happened with biosphere 2. And then it gives you a question. What must all the components be included in biosphere 3 so that matter and energy can be stored and recycled? And so you should be using your notes about energy flow that we've taken before the break. You should be using your notes on recycling of water, recycling of carbon cycle, water cycle. That stuff should help you in here. And this is all written. What you would put in here is a nice paragraph or 2. You can make it as long as you want. Again, do it on a separate piece of paper, or you can type it up, or you can print this out and put it in. But this will be a second assignment for the week, which is this written response. Treat it like an essential question. It should be very detailed. It should have a lot of information in it. Again, you never get marked down for writing too much. Okay, so that's what's going to go here. So that's the second thing you need to do this week. And then the third thing here is this diagram, which is basically a piece of the carbon cycle. Okay, it's got photosynthesis, it's got cellular respiration, it's got ATP. Now, we haven't talked about ATP, but that's back up in the article above. Talk about sunlight energy. We've talked about that. I'm going to go over in class to make sure you know what these molecules are. You should definitely know carbon dioxide. You should definitely know water. You should definitely know oxygen. This one right here, C6H12O6, that is glucose, which is a type of sugar. I will help you out in class on Monday and Tuesday talking about that. But what are you supposed to do with this? Okay, first of all, you need to recreate this. So somehow redraw this on a piece of paper as best you can. And then it says, food and fuel provide energy. Add on to the model below to demonstrate that photosynthesis and cellular respiration play a role in the cycling of matter and energy. You may add details, labels, such as inputs and outputs, explanations, vocabulary, connections. So basically they want you to redraw this. Again, I do it on a piece of paper, and add whatever you have learned that relates to this stuff. Let me give you just 2 examples. For instance, this is a tree. We all know that. So you could label that tree, but you could also say, these are producers, right? Autotrophs, right? Okay, this is carbon dioxide. Shows carbon dioxide going to the producers. Well, what else do you know about carbon dioxide? There's carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We breathe out carbon dioxide. So then I could start writing stuff here on the side about carbon dioxide. I can make a whole nother cycle. Same thing with sugar. Same thing about oxygen. Same thing about water. Same thing about consumers or the animals that are in here. So really, you want to just add as much stuff that you've learned that relate to these things as you possibly can. And by adding more and more and more stuff, again, you'll never get marked wrong for adding too much stuff. It'll demonstrate your knowledge of the stuff that you've learned in class. Okay. So you'll recreate this diagram, add a whole bunch of stuff, connecting arrows to all the stuff over here, pointing things out, labeling things as much as you possibly can. That's one assignment. This written response, that's a second assignment. And this chart, that's a third assignment. So you got 3 assignments this week, but they're all on this performance task. Monday, Tuesday, we will go over this as well to answer any of your questions, make sure you understand what you need to do. I'll probably have you read the articles and start taking notes and ask me any questions off the articles that you don't understand. And that way you could be able to answer the chart. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll take a vote on how this will affect your grade. And I will help you with the written components and the diagram part so that you can finish this up at the end of the week. Remember, everything is due by Monday at 8 a.m. So again, you come to classes this week, you should have no problem. Friday check-in meetings, remember, those are there for support. Parents, if your students are saying, oh, I can't get help with my class, that's ridiculous, because every Friday I offer myself to answer any questions the students might have. I will say a lot of students just come in, put their name in the chat and leave. Even the students who are failing seem to do that. But if you don't ask for help, people aren't going to help you. So I'm there on Friday for 40 minutes, I think, on Friday to answer any questions about anything going on with the class and help them out. This performance test could be one of them. So I will see all of you on Monday, Tuesday, and have a good one till then.